this is ioEther, and we're back with some more World Tanks. So, as you can see, this is Doug99 in his BK3001D. This is Lakeville. It's an encounter map, obviously. And it's a tier 6 game. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Wow, that camo, though. So, I think whoever made this camo was trying to, like, camouflage into, like, bloody dandelion fields, cause that's not grass colored or anything you find in a forestry environment colored. Anyways, I guess it could be city colored. Yeah. Oh well. Before we get into the game too much, if you guys want to follow me, talk to me, that kind of thing, my Facebook, Duckster, Twitter, links are all in the description below. If you want to support the channel directly, the best way to do that is through my Patreon account, which is also in the description below. And I'm offering a new service where if you have old patch or games from older patches, like anything post 8.8, I will report them for you and upload them so you can access them. And I charge a small fee for that. That's it. Okay, into the game. So, the first shot of the game takes out Doug's gun. So he's going to have a rather difficult time for a little while until he gets that fixed. Which he's not going to get fixed because he didn't bother bringing a fire extinguisher or a repair kit. He does, however, have a large first aid kit. Okay, I'm gonna pause it right here so I can talk about this for a sec, because it's been a while if I've ever talked about this. I don't know. Okay, so large first aid kits, yes, they're okay to have on your tanks, but I wouldn't recommend ever putting them on anything below a tier 8 unless it's going into a tournament or even a what's it called, team battle. If you want to put it in before you go into any of the tournament type things, go ahead, that's fine. Standard battle, don't bother. It's not worth the credits below tier 8. Even at tier 8 and tier 9, it's iffy. It depends on the tank, it depends on how well you know the tank, how well you know how much, whether you know the crew's going to get killed a lot, that kind of thing. Don't put it on just for the bonus to prevent people from getting injured. That's not actually helpful. The other thing is you always need a fire extinguisher and a small repair kit. Every tank I have below tier 10 has a small repair kit, small first aid kit, and a manual fire extinguisher on it. I have a couple of tier 10s with automatic fire extinguishers on them, and nothing else. The reason being, it's only when I decide I'm going into either Clan Wars games or a tournament type game like Team Battle or whatever that I swap it to the automatic, the premium consume. It's not worth having on for standard battles. And if you get in this type of situation, you can really use a small repair kit. They make his, repair his gun, make it much more effective for the rest of this battle. The manual fire extinguisher is it's not optional, mandatory for any tank. I don't care if you're driving a scout tank, get a fire extinguisher. Unless of course you have a removed speed governor, in which case I can understand why you do, but that's at least then you are using all 3 consumable slots. I don't ever want to see people going into battle on purpose with not all 3 of their consumable slots filled up. Nice instincts there to back up just in time to avoid that Hummel shot. If he'd been hit by that, I don't know if it would have killed him, but it would have crippled him to the point of being next to worthless. Ooh, we get side shots into this Chinu who... Oh no, that's front shots. Apparently he either doesn't know we're here or doesn't know exactly where we are, No, he's focused on the VK3601H behind us, who just got popped by the enemy on M6, who we haven't never even seen. Oh, there he is. He's up there with his turret turned sideways. Oh wow, we could thank him for saying there was turret turned sideways. Want to? Because that is just the. Ooh, he's out in the open. Side shots on M6 and broken again. Ooh, good job. Come on, light him on fire. Come on, light him on fire. Come on, light him on fire. Nope. Apparently no fires. Not good. It is, however, doing a lot of damage to him. And now front shots into the VK3601H. No. It might be side shots, because I can see his gun poking out of the bush turned sideways. So either his front is facing us and he's just rotated his turret sideways. Or his entire tank is turned sideways. Oh yeah, he moved. His entire tank was probably turned sideways. Ooh, took his track off in the middle of the open. We're gonna get at least one more shot into him. Hopefully two. Come on, two. Yeah, he just sits there and lets us shoot him again. Cool. That is the first hit we've received the entire game since we started sitting behind that KV-1S. And somebody, probably KV-1, fired into the side of us. That KV-1 right there. And he is kind of looking in our direction. Nope, he's not. So we're gonna. Aww, if that hit the front flap part of his armor, probably would have gone straight through. He's not looking at us yet. Now he's looking at us. Time to move, Doug. Oh, come on, Doug. Don't get shot again. Move, 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 move. Thank you. Thank you for moving. You're gonna want to pull into beyond that rock still. You're not fully in cover. No, don't do this. Okay, as soon as Doug zooms in, I'm gonna take a second and talk about some stuff that I am seeing. Come on, Doug, zoom in. There we go. So right now, I mean, it's not the worst possible thing you could do, but it's pretty bad. And that's the fact that Doug is. So let's assume the KV-1 is still here. Doug is backing out so that he can get shots on the KV-1. Getting shots on target is always worth. If you don't think you're going to get shot immediately, it's always worth trying to take that shot. However, it's almost never worth backing out to get the shot. Because at this point in time, if the KV-1 was a better player and was picking up on it, he could actually shoot you before your gun has cleared the rock. And potentially, he can knock your tracks off before your gun has cleared the rock. Which means you're now stuck, tracked, with your back end hanging out from behind your cover, and just going to get riddled full of holes that way. I've killed more tanks by having them poke a vulnerable part of their chassis around their cover before their gun came around. So I was able to knock their tracks off and then just pump them full of bullets before they could do anything about it. And the worst case is, in that kind of scenario, if they don't have a repair kit or they've used it already, then they cannot do anything, because it with my normal type tanks, which is the faster firing guns, I can literally go one shot into their body, one shot to retract them, one shot into their body, one shot to retract them, and perma-track them while continuously pumping damage in. And if I can get them from the right angle, then I can just fire through the drive wheel into the chassis, and it keeps them permanently perma-tracked. I don't care for this. As well as doing damage with every single shot. That's the problem with backing out around a rock. Now, if you came from this side, you could actually angle your armor so that your gun and your hull came around the rock at the same time, meaning that it didn't matter if the KV-1 tracked you in place. It would have been harder for him to track you and do damage to you. Also, with your front armor, of course, you have more chance of bouncing shots, which is just better in the long run. Also, it means that even if you do get tracked in place, you are in position to fire back, which means eventually either you're going to kill him or he's going to kill you, or you're going to be able to pull back into cover. But you don't have that whole situation of not being able to return fire, which is really key. We're going to let this play out again. Okay, so now Doug is going to push down this line. I guess he's trying to get lights on the cap, which is what he should be doing. But at the same time, it's not something he really needs to worry about. He is, however, going to rush to the aid of this T-150, which is a great idea. This is definitely, the T-150 can definitely use some help. I don't know if he's going to lose. Looks like he might actually lose this battle. That's because I think he has the small gun, and he's not penetrating the front of the M6. Okay, so I don't like this move. Yeah, and this is the reason I don't like this move. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit more. Sorry, Doug. There's a lot of things that I'm noticing that I'm not noticing in some of my other videos, or at least not for a while. So when he popped over this ridge, first shot into the M6 was great. He actually could have got a second shot in from back there, and then instead of running this ridge, pulling back would have been the better idea. And the reason for that is that you know without a doubt that your team doesn't have as many guns as the enemy team. Okay, so even knowing that your KV-85 is facing off against 2 enemies, that still leaves 3 enemies potentially looking at you. Now, 1-on-1 versus the M6, if the M6 can turn to face you like this, you're not likely to win this fight. 3-on-1 versus 3 enemies when you have this low health, you're definitely not likely to win this fight. What you likely would have been able to do is hop over the edge, put 2 shots in the M6, pull back, wait until you drop line of sight, and then poke over that ridge again. And most likely the M6 would have gotten bored and looked away. Or could have taken shots at the KV-1's probably over here. Actually, the KV-1's on cap. My bad. I forgot that bit of information, which is silly on my part. So you know the KV-1's not looking at you. So you had a 2-on-1 situation, not 3-on-1. But still, you could have reversed back, taken shots at these guys, or I'm gonna guess you can hit the A20. She didn't know he was there at the time, but still, try not to rush into situations where you're outnumbered, unless you know without a shadow of a doubt your tank can handle it. Even then, wait till you got 6 or 7k battles under your belt before you try that kind of thing. You'll have better success. But thankfully, the M6 either gets tracked or forgets that the body of his tank can turn and just gets destroyed. Now, this is a risky situation. Ooh, A20 bounced a shot. Good job. Okay, so we tracked him in place. Now, if Artie is looking, Artie can take him out without us needing to risk anything. Okay, so pause. It's not perfect, but it's really well done by Doug. So he's poked himself around this corner. Now his drive wheel is showing. His drive wheel is actually really vulnerable right here. He can get shot through this side fairly easily. But the A20 is not looking at that. The A20 is trying to shoot here. The A20 is going to bounce every time off that. Even off his turret, he's likely to, well, maybe not the flat front of the turret, he might not bounce off, but he's unlikely to get through it. So there's very little of Doug showing right here that he can take a shot at. He's looking at this, and this he could actually do damage to, and a little bit here. Everything else is just going to bounce off. Great job, Doug. I'm so happy to see you're not backing it from behind rocks again. This was a brilliant little move. And he can just sit here, and the A20 just can't keep ricocheting shots off him. And in return, the A20 is actually in the exact same position, except Doug's gun can penetrate the A20. The A20 can't penetrate Doug's front. Now, we've taken out an M6 and an A20. the KV-1 on the cap apparently hasn't realized that death is coming for him. Because he's still trying to cap. The intelligent thing for the KV-1 to be doing right now would be double teaming our KV-85 with the TOG. Because if the two of them could kill our KV-85, they would have a much easier time at winning this. But that KV-1 is still... Ooh, why am I not fixed on where Doug is looking? That KV-1 was still trying to cap, and now he's running. For that KV-1, he has tunnel vision on capping to win this game. And our SU-8 just took out the enemy TOG. So now it went from a 5-on-3 to a 3-on-1, mostly because this KV-1 was determined to cap this game out. And now he's going to get shot from behind by a KV-85. There we go. 20 health left. Doug is going to do beautiful. I'm going to pause it again. How many times you Such a beautiful move. He waits until he sees... Okay, so... Go back. Like 20 seconds. I'm not going to... It would take too long. Anyways, so when Doug was around this corner, he could actually zoom his camera out and shift. And once... when you're not in fixed camera mode, you can zoom the camera out and look around corners and stuff. So Doug actually looked around the corner, watched the KV-1 turn his chart. As soon as the KV-1 wasn't focused on him anymore, he ran out from behind cover. The only thing I don't like is how far he came out from behind cover. He only needed to come out about half his tank's length so he can get his gun around the corner. But it doesn't matter, because the KV-1 is looking here presently, not even looking at the KV-85 yet, because he hasn't got his gun all the way around yet. He's giving Doug free shots into the back of his turret and the side of his tank. Unfortunately, Doug doesn't get the kill because the KV-1 does. Almost 6,000 experience with a premium account with a ×3. That's pretty awesome. Obviously, this was his ace tanker. He also grabbed a steel wall, a Spartan from the A20 at the end there, who decided he had to give us a Spartan. Bruiser, Hand of God, which I always thought was a bad name for this. Like Protection of God or something like that would be a little bit better. It's supposed to be that like the Hand of God came down to save you, but it more sounds like a sniper type, award. Anyways, Duelist, Shellproof, which he completely deserved, and Fire for Effect, which I try to aim for in every battle, so I'm really happy to see get it too. Okay, so a lot of spline damage was done, and we will see exactly how much in a second. Three tanks dead, 2,100 damage dealt in a VK3001D. That is hard to do. It is really awesome to see someone actually getting it done. Our Lux didn't do a whole lot that battle. Our T-150 came up behind an M6 and managed to do nothing. That's really sad. That's really sad. Oh well, that M6 was the best player on the enemy team, and he grabbed the high caliber. So he actually had a good game, despite the fact that he lost. And 39 shots fired, 23 of them went into the target. So part of that is actually the fact that his gun was damaged all game, which is again because of the fact that he didn't bring a small repair kit. I'm gonna say that was probably an error from not checking the little box to resupply consumables, but that's something that needs to get looked into. Make sure you always bring a small first aid kit, small repair kit, and a manual fire extinguisher every game. Low tier 8. Unless it's a tournament style game, again, and above tier 8, it's up to you. You're experienced enough by that point to figure out when you need a manual and automatic fire extinguisher. And in what tanks, because not every tank will need them. 970 damage blocked by armor. In the VK3001D, that's pretty hard to do. And a whole bunch of spotting damage as well. So his team made good use of what he was lighting so that they could win that game. Great game. Thank you very much, Doug999, for saying that in. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. This is ioEther out. Hey folks, this is ioEther, and we're back with some more world tanks. Side scraping. How to counter a player who's side scraping. So the E100 is trying to side scrape. And you can see, let's see where. Ronick is actually firing at the engine deck of the enemy tank. And well, that makes sense because Ronick's gun is actually higher up than the enemy tank's engine deck, so he can aim down. And if he concentrates right, and if he, T-57. Really? How did you miss that shot on the T-57? Really? That was like a free shot. So the enemy E100 is getting really pissed that Ronick can somehow penetrate him without being, without exposing enough of his tank so that this guy can kill Ronick. So Ronick's, again, gonna shoot for the engine deck.